And welcome to Ask the Experts here on Newstalk 1290 CJBK on this Saturday afternoon with our real estate expert, Joan Ball from Royal LePage, Tri-Land Realty. You can reach Joan at 519-672-9880. You can visit the website, joanball.com. And if you are thinking of buying or selling, you can do two things. You can pick up the phone and get Joan's advice on either of those directions that you might be going, or you can also start off by going to the website and getting some great information, whether you are buying or selling in the future. And we welcome Joan to the program. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, Ryan. And you?
Great. Thanks for joining us here, as you do every other Saturday on Ask the Experts. Start of February, Joan. We're into a new month. Looking at the markets, give us a recap. It's been a couple of weeks since we have spoke. What are you seeing out there?
I am starting to see more listings coming on the market. I'm certainly seeing that buyers are starting to recognize, okay, we just had a 25 basis points increase in the interest rate, but that does look like it's going to settle out for quite a while. So anybody who is thinking of 2023 is saying, maybe I'll capitalize on the adjustment of prices thus far. So I am starting to see more activity take place out there, more people attending open houses, a few more multiple offer scenarios. So I think that we'll probably be steady Eddie is my estimate for the next 6 months.
Okay, you've got some interesting figures as well that you'll share with us in just a moment. In terms of prices, Joan, what are you seeing? Are they stabilizing or coming down a bit still?
I am seeing some prices have adjusted just a wee bit.
Okay.
But it's interesting. It's almost like, and now I'm starting to see them just hold steady a little bit more than they have been over the last, I'd say, 8 to 10 months. So coming into what is usually our busy season, March, April, May, June, I do think we will see a bit more activity than we have seen in a while. But I don't estimate that prices are going to start to increase in any significance over the next 6 to 8 months.
Okay. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on News Talk 1290 CJBK. You can reach Joan at Royal LePage, Tri-Land Realty. The phone number, 519-672-9880, joanball.com, the website address. You talk about the busier months, Joan, coming up in a couple of months. Advice for people maybe that are thinking about putting their home on the market heading into spring, summer, some of the things they should be keeping in mind at this point of the game?
Yeah, I think it's really important to recognize that presenting your property and getting your property ready for the market has been such a vital component for most people if they want to ensure that they don't leave any money on the table. Doing things like clearing the clutter, pack up the things you don't need, certainly enlisting the expertise of a stager or a designer to help you in the presentation of your property. Curb appeal is extremely important, and I know it's winter, and you may think, oh, it just is snow right up to the front door, but make sure everything's shoveled off. Iced or sort of salted so that nobody's slipping on ice, that kind of thing. But make the front entry inviting, make sure all the lights are on, bright, clean, neat, turns into money on the table. So make sure you take advantage of those things because people are certainly very critical if there is any mess or clutter. And those are the houses that may not get the response that they want.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK. I like that term, too, and you've used that for a long time. You don't want to leave any money on the table. The other one, which is often used, curb appeal, and was just talking to somebody over the last week who was looking at a home and said inside everything was great, updated and all that sort of thing. Nice, nice, nice. But the outside hadn't been touched, and particularly the front step. It was one of the old concrete ones, and it was like it was starting to sink into the ground, look lopsided, and that type of thing. And just this home, and obviously things like that can be fixed up, spruced up, whatever, replaced. But curb appeal, it's so important, isn't it, Joan?
Absolutely, and I think people fail to realize that, the expression you pay as you go to update your house,
right,
or to fix those little things, or you pay when you go because you don't get as much for your house.
Right.
So curb appeal, or the front elevation and the presentation of that front elevation, is really essential when you're looking at, putting it on the market. And just realize buyers are seeing more properties out there, and they're not flying off the shelf, so to speak. So they can be a little bit more discretionary as far as how they choose to present their offer, or what they choose to present an offer on.
And oftentimes, I'm sure, and you can help and advise in this area, an outside set of eyes, meaning outside the homeowner, goes a long way, because if we were to look in the front part of our homes, we just sort of take things the way they are, or it's the way they've always been there. But little things can go a long way. And I remember you telling me as well, Joan, it was at the end of a summer, that type of thing. And you said, if somebody were putting their home on the market now, go to nurseries or flower shops, whatever, and you might be able to get a sale end of the season, whatever the case. But flowers, that type of thing, properly placed, they're appealing to the eye, aren't they?
Absolutely. I have clients that are very enthusiastic about the process, and fresh cut flowers on the table, will make a big difference. And even out front, anyone who's presenting right now, some of them have kept the Christmas arrangements on their front porch, just remove the specific items that are representative of Christmas. Yeah. So it has some greenery when you come up to the front door. Silly things like that just help people sort of envision themselves in the house. And that's the whole idea of staging. It's selling a lifestyle. It's selling an atmosphere, a mood, so that individuals actually say, yeah, I could really live here.
Excellent. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. Joan, our longtime real estate expert, and you can reach her at 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address. Joan, do you have handy the summary that you sent over to me, the average over asking prices? I'd love for you to, what a difference a year makes.
Isn't it? It's crazy. So if you look at in 2022, our average over asking price was $136,099.
Okay.
As opposed to, and that percentage related to 93% of sales went at or over asking price. Those days have passed, friend. We're now looking at an average over of $13,295. And the percentage over asking price is 15%. So we've still got activity. And I'm finding that in many cases it's the more affordable properties, because there may be fewer of them. There may be more buyers that are looking in that price range, but that's sort of what I see. Something in the 700 to 800, 900,000. Those are the ones who are seeming to get a fair bit of activity, and even below that. So, we came out of December, it was 16% over asking price with an average of 38,000. So, yes, January saw that, but that was January overall. I did see a little bit of a glimmer of change near the end of January. So it'll be interesting to see what our stats are when we get into the end of February, early March.
Got it. Yeah. Well, hang tight for that. Can you just say the dollar figures again year to year, Joan? Because it's
Sure.
amazing.
Yeah, so January of 2022, 136,099 over average, and 2023 is 13,295.
Wow.
So dramatically different, but then we were in a crazy, crazy market, frenzied market, just absolutely over the top. And everybody was realizing that it really didn't matter what it was selling. But the end of 2021, we had 79 single-family homes on the market. That was it.
Right.
79. So, that was part of it. There was such a lack of supply, and that drove the prices so exponentially.
Crazy. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290. CJBK, before the break, Joan, I'll just ask you, and I might have asked you this a couple of weeks ago, I apologize, but are you seeing bids coming in below asking price more so these days than say a year?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
If we have 85% of sales that are going under list price, then yes, we are. We're seeing, I would say, the vast majority of them are under. And actually, if you hang on, I can give you some stats on that too, because the average under is about, price-wise, about 39,886.
Wow, okay.
So it gives you an idea. That's what the average under list price is running. And I think these are important figures for us as realtors to be aware of, to really get a sense of how best to inform our buyers so that they understand what's going on in the market, so they're not overshooting things, or they're really clearly getting a full picture of what to expect.
I appreciate you having those numbers handy. Thanks, Joan, because that is very insightful. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. You reach Joan at 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address. Here on Ask the Experts, we will return with more on News Talk 1290 right after these. And welcome back to Ask the Experts on News Talk 1290 CJBK with our real estate expert, Joan Ball from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. You can reach Joan at 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address. How is it, Joan, for somebody in your position to put a price on homes these days when things have changed so much? Does it make it really tough on you in that area?
Well, you do have to sharpen your pencil. There's no doubt about it. You have to really pull out enough stats to get a true sense of where the value presently is. And obviously it's not nuclear science. We just sort of pull together the most recent comparable sales, those sales that are relevant to the subject property. And in some cases, if we don't have enough statistical information, then we are pulling from other areas and doing evaluation adjustments depending on the area that we're pulling from. But yeah, you do have to try and be as accurate as possible in this market, because buyers are very critical if you're not.
Right.
And they may not bring a satisfactory offer if you're not, really presenting with confidence.
In your own general observances, Joan, and looking at prices on the market right now, do you think that there are some homes that are living in the past in terms of what they are priced at today?
There may be. It's very, very difficult for someone to see that a year ago their property might have been worth $1 million, $1.2 million, and now today it is coming in at, and it may have not been necessarily worth that, but that may have been what they could generate on the market a year ago.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is market value. Market value is what anyone would pay for a property. However, at this point, they may be $850, somewhere in there, or maybe even lower. So that's a huge huge adjustment.
Yep.
So it is, in some ways, what we have to do is manage expectations and really get enough information to help them certainly see what the present reality is.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. Got a question here from Alice Joan. Alice says, I am assisting my parents in downsizing and it seems a bit overwhelming. Can your expert help with some resources? From Alice.
Yeah, this is something that I'm very well equipped with because I do have 2 accreditations for transitioning seniors. So this is a particular interest for me. Many people may not know I had 2 grandmothers live into their hundreds. My father's mother was 106 and my mother's mother was 109. And my mother's mother lived with my parents until she died. She died at home. And, so really recognizing the difference in how they transitioned and plus my nursing background, I did tend to focus on geriatrics. So this is an area that I have a particular interest in, and I have certainly amassed a supply of service providers to be able to equip people. Things like maxsold.com online service that can assist in selling off any other unwanted items, so you're not just giving them away to charity, although some people will choose to do that. And there may be many items that they choose to do so regardless. And but Max Sold will come in and photograph and catalog and put it online, and then coordinate the pickup, the one-day pickup for all the items. And it's a great service my clients have used. I think there's a number of other services that can help in sifting through and sorting through. Professional organizers I've used, certainly any of the redesigners or stagers or designers that I would have used are very well equipped to be able to assist with seniors. But there's a special care that needs to go on there. It's very concerning and stressful, and the whole objective is to reduce the stress and create a seamless transition.
The line that Alice uses, I'm sure you hear a lot, Joan, a bit overwhelming. That's the way a lot of people feel, I'm sure.
Yes, and I think that's the fact that you can get at it early enough is really essential. Don't leave it too late. Make sure that it's a sort of a bite. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just go at it slow and steady.
Right.
It can create a much less stressful event and process for everybody concerned.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290. CJBK, I've actually got a very good friend of mine who's having to clean out her son's home who passed some time ago, and she's just telling me how tough the process is. So I can imagine there's so many different scenarios in that, having to clean out people's stuff and get them moved. So yeah, Joan can help you out there. You can give her a call at 519-672-9880, joanball.com. The website address, Joan, of course, with Royal LePage, Triland Realty. One from Ian and Brenda. Joan, does your expert expect interest rates to lower anytime soon?
Unfortunately, no, I don't. I think we're going to probably ride this one at the present rate for a while. I would estimate about 10 to 15 months. And so, it really, if you look at historically, it's not a bad rate. I think that's what some of the buyers are certainly expressing to me when I'm showing them historical rates. They're sort of going, well, okay, let's just see how we can rework this. And they're making some adjustments to be able to accommodate that. Some of the, I think this is the new normal, and we will learn to live with it. And prices may adjust a little bit more, but I'm certainly seeing them sort of level out a bit as well.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290, CJBK from Royal LePage, Triland Realty, 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address here on Ask the Experts. We'll return with more on Newstalk 1290, CJBK right after these. And welcome back to Ask the Experts on News Talk 1290, CJBK, with our real estate expert, Joan Ball. And Joan, I hope you're not offended me asking this. What was the highest rate you had on a mortgage interest-wise back in the day?
Oh, no, you're not offending me at
Okay.
all. I do remember some absolutely crazy prices for interest rates, getting up in the stratosphere, so to speak. My highest rate I ever paid was 12%.
Really?
And, I think we were thrilled when it came down to 6%.
Wow.
Absolutely elated. So the rates that we've been living with since about 2009, I guess it is 2007, are really historical lows, and we were very spoiled, and that may be what led to, a fair bit of rise in prices and people having enough to put into the market and invest and that kind of thing. But now we have a shortage of supply. So we really need to become very diligent. And the real estate board, the local real estate board, is certainly trying to work with the city to encourage them to be able to provide the motivation and momentum to get supplies up in any of the local areas, the local economies. That will really have a huge impact as far as affordability down the road.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts. Time for one more out of the mailbag here, Joan. I'm going to go to Wally. Wally needs to know, I will be listing my house for sale and wondering if it is still normal to hold off on offers for a week or so.
I'm not seeing that so much. However, the odd property, if it's unique, if it's well positioned, it presents extremely well, those properties may. We're not seeing them hold off necessarily as long, but there may be a number of individuals that have some interest. So in that regard, they may want to ensure that everybody has equal access and opportunity to view the property. Some sellers are saying, nope, heck, get it sold. That's it. I'm moving on. I'm downsizing, or I'm, moving out of the city or whatever. Just get it done. So it is individual, but the odd one, I do see that still taking place.
And was that something, Joan, that really was you're seeing more of during the pandemic, that type of scenario?
Absolutely. But we started seeing it a little bit before the pandemic.
Okay.
We started having a supply issue prior to the pandemic. So we did start seeing that a little bit more before, but it certainly was a norm. And we had to implement some regulations around that for the industry, just to ensure that it was fair, because holding off for 3 weeks didn't make sense, but holding off for 7 days might, So there were some regulatory issues around the coming soon signs and that kind of thing as well.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on News Talk 1290, CJBK from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. You can reach Joan by calling 519-672-9880 and visit the website joanball.com. Joan, as always, your expertise is greatly appreciated by not only myself, but all of our listeners as well. And we will talk to you again in 2 weeks, and people can listen to your Real Estate Matters feature daily here on CJBK. Joan, thank you so much. You have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Ryan. You as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts. Again, you can reach Joan at Royal LePage, Triland Realty at 519-672-9880. And to everybody out there, please have yourself a great day.